His is a horror narration channel, and I need to tell you what happened to me. I've spent most of my adult life working as a saturation diver on offshore oil rigs. I always liked the solitude of the job, being cut off from the rest of the world, sometimes working nearly 1,000 feet underwater. You don't just surface from that depth, not even in an emergency. If something goes wrong, you stay. You decompress, slowly, painfully. An hour at 250 feet means 5 hours to ascend just to avoid getting bent. That's what we call decompression sickness. Gases expand inside your body, twist you up, tear you apart from the inside. You die in agony, so nobody rushes. You stare death down, inch by inch, meter by meter. I gave 8 years to this job before everything changed. I'd laughed off stories like the one I'm about to tell you. But I'm not laughing anymore. This didn't happen to someone else, it happened to me. And if you want to believe I'm lying, go ahead. I used to laugh too, until I met what lives in the dark. I worked on the Jupiter rig. It was massive, an industrial giant drifting far out in international waters. When the company decided to relocate the operation, everything became chaos. Overtime hours skyrocketed. Crew rotations got messy. Sleep schedules disintegrated. Tempers flared. Fights broke out. A few guys had to be sent home permanently. But the pay was good, so we stayed. My new boss, Harvey, practically lived on the rig. Tough guy. Knew how to run a crew. When the underwater phase began, it was time for me and John to enter the metal tube, a pressurized chamber under the flatbed boat where we'd live for the next few months. Just two of us, isolated from the world, saturated with gases so we could work deep underwater for extended periods. John didn't love the job like I did. He liked the paycheck. Said if a beachside janitor gig paid the same, he'd take it in a heartbeat. Me, I couldn't handle the noise, the people, the chaos up top. I liked the quiet. The crew above us kept us alive. They managed our air, food, comfort, and safety. They screwed up, we died. It was that simple. The first few weeks underwater were boring, honestly. No big sea life sightings. Nothing strange. John spent most of the time whining about his girlfriend, who apparently had his permission to see other guys while he was down here. I didn't get it. Maybe that's why I never bothered dating after I took this job. Week 3, we finished up some test pipeline connections and headed back to the chamber. John looked shaken, pale. He stared into space, said he'd heard something. His smile was forced. His eyes were darting all over. When I asked if he was okay, he just asked if I'd seen anything strange on the seabed. Strange, I laughed. We're 800 feet underwater. Everything looks strange, but the next day, John was worse. He looked sick. His vitals were off. The medical team pulled him out and placed him in solitary decompression to avoid infecting me. A cold down here could be fatal. I was stuck finishing the job alone until they could safely send someone new. The following day was brutal. John's work from the day before was sloppy, pipeline bands missing, misaligned valves. It all had to be redone. I didn't like that they wouldn't tell me what was wrong with him, only that he was unstable. Alone now, I descended to the seafloor and immediately noticed something. Nothing was moving. No fish, no eels. Just the flickering lights of the rig equipment, casting eerie glows through pitch-black water. I worked for hours, and then I started seeing things, movement, just outside the light. Flickers in my peripheral vision, but when I turned, nothing. At the end of the shift, I began my slow ascent back to the chamber. That's when I felt something moved behind me. A ripple. I swung my light around. Nothing. My first thought was shark, not common, but not unheard of. Then it brushed me again. This time I caught a glimpse. Something big. Manta ray shaped, but wrong. It had arms. And hair. Long, black strands floating around its head. I froze. My heart slammed into my ribs. I forced myself to breathe, pulled myself along the line. Then I saw it. It blocked my path. It had webbed hands clutching the line, as like giant black almonds, and a wide, circular mouth packed with rows of tiny yellow teeth. I kicked backward in terror, let go of the line. Dangerous, but not as dangerous as that thing. And then tentacles, from behind, wrapping around me, tight, covered in sharp little spines that pierced my suit. I was being dragged downward. The ray creature followed, tapping my visor with one long talon. I was too terrified to scream. Just stared, frozen, I stopped struggling. The spikes were cutting deeper. It pulled me lower, pinning my arms. I couldn't move. That's when I saw it. The other one, it was worse. The sea turned cold. The creatures parted, bowing their heads like worshippers. Something massive emerged from the dark ahead, the size of a car, whiskers trailing like kelp. Its body was snake-like, longer than a school bus, covered in pale, pulsing flesh. It didn't open its mouth, it opened its stomach. From it, smaller tendrils extended, each ending in tiny round maws filled with teeth. They devoured one of the smaller creatures whole. The one holding me trembled ... and let go. I drifted upward, unnoticed, as the giant drew closer to its minions. I didn't dare move, just floated, slowly. The moment my fingers found the line, I gripped it and started hauling myself up, steady, silent. I made it back to the chamber. I screamed, I sobbed, I couldn't explain. The medical team thought I'd cracked just like John. They called it pressure-induced psychosis. When we were finally sent topside weeks later, I found John at a bar. We drank in silence until I asked him, "You saw them too, didn't you?" He nodded, said he thought he was going crazy. Said he wanted out before it killed him. 2 weeks later, the company sent down a new crew of 6 to finish the job. Only one made it back. He shot straight to the surface, no decompression, and died from the bends. But not before muttering about monsters, about things down there. The company destroyed the medical logs. John and I were visited by officials, government types. They told us to shut up, to disappear. Said if we ever talked, they'd lock us up. Say we went crazy. And maybe we did. But I know what I saw. And now ... so do you. Just remember this. There are still places on this earth untouched by man. Places where they wait. And they do not want to be found.